The Grand Canyon has some very old rock. The oldest rock, way down at the bottom of the canyon, is about 1.8 billion years old.
Recent scientific discoveries in the Grand Canyon have pushed the frontiers of our comprehension and left the world in wonder, sending shockwaves about the planet. Only 4 minutes ago, scientists discovered discoveries that revealed buried mysteries, challenging our preconceived assumptions about this natural beauty. Get ready to get stunned as we delve into the groundbreaking findings that have captured the interest of the globe. Before any further delay, let's get into the video. The Grand Canyon, breathtaking mile-deep valley in northern Arizona, is a geological wonder that reaches over 270 miles in length and 18 miles in width. It is a magnificent scenery that's captured travelers from all over the world. The Grand Canyon's sheer size and splendor make it an awe-inspiring sight that draws millions of visitors each year. The Grand Canyon is even more stunning because of its rich geological history. With over 6 million years of history engraved into its walls, the canyon is a tribute to the Earth's extraordinary tale. It acts as a time capsule, exposing the accumulated layers of rock formations over millennia. The canyon's exposed rocks are among the oldest on the globe, providing invaluable insights into the planet's geological past. The Grand Canyon was formed by the enormous forces of erosion and geological action. This spectacular masterpiece has been carved out by millions of years of unrelenting erosion by the Colorado River and the environment. Layers of sedimentary rock can be seen in the canyon walls, ranging from ancient Precambrian rocks to more modern deposits, demonstrating the intricate geological processes that have sculpted the terrain. Exploring the Grand Canyon takes you on a trip through time. The canyon's walls bore witness to the evolution of life on Earth and the changing environment. Fossils and other geological features reveal ancient ecosystems that once flourished in the area. The Grand Canyon is a cultural icon in addition to its natural significance. It's very important to various Native American tribes who have lived in the area for thousands of years. The canyon's rich archaeological history dates back approximately 12,000 years, with signs of prehistoric human settlement. It has spiritual and cultural significance for several tribes, including the Hopi, Navajo, and Havasupai. With the recent discovery of the Tusayan ruins, when most people hear the words Grand Canyon, the first thing that comes to their mind is an image of a vast wilderness region containing breathtaking rock formations that together convey an important geological tale. Few people are aware of the fact that humans have inhabited the area surrounding the Grand Canyon for at least the past 12,000 years, and that they've continually populated the Grand Canyon for at least the previous 4,000 years. Important archaeological finds that tell the lengthy history of human life in North America have been made in the Grand Canyon, which is reflective of the long period of time that humans have inhabited North America. Although the National Park Service has previously identified 4,800 archaeological sites, they've only intensively surveyed 3% of the park's total area. This indicates that there is still a great number of sites that need to be catalogued. The National Park Service primarily provides visitors with an interpretation of the Grand Canyon's extensive human history at the Tusayan Ruin and Museum located close to the park's eastern boundary. Over the course of many centuries, people have moved in and out of the area surrounding the Grand Canyon, at times settling in the canyon for extended periods of time, and at other times only staying for a short amount of time. Ancestral Puebloans are said to be the ancestors of modern-day Hopi, Zuni, and other Puebloan tribes. This population is known for its putting down roots at the Grand Canyon. Researchers who study tree rings are able to calculate the age of ancestral Puebloan homes because these homes were constructed with major beams made from juniper trees. To do this, they examine the tree rings in the beams and compare them to data they have collected on the growth of trees in the region over the course of many centuries. This method of dating tree rings demonstrates that the Tusayan village was established by ancestral Puebloans in the year 1185 AD. The settlement is located a few miles from the southern rim of the Grand Canyon. They built dwellings, agricultural fields, communal facilities, and religious structures, all of which have provided archaeologists with a lot of information about life in this region 800 years ago. The center of the community was comprised of a square that was encircled by residential quarters, storage rooms, and kivas. The plaza was oriented towards south to maximize its exposure to the sun during the winter months. The living quarters were a one-story building made of rock, adobe, and wood. There were approximately 3 or 4 primary rooms. During the severe winter months, storage chambers stored food that had been dried out in order to preserve it. In addition, there are the ruins of 2 kivas, which are structures used for ceremonies that current Puebloans continue to utilize today in religious celebrations and other types of celebrations. They are thought to depict a geological formation on the floor of the Grand Canyon known as Sipapuni. Many Hopi thinks that this was the spot where they came into the world, and they feel that this formation represents them. Kivas are often dug into the ground and have the form of a circular structure. In order to enter, one must descend a ladder through the hole in the roof. However, due to the presence of the Kaibab limestone in this region, ancient people were unable to dig very far into the ground in order to construct their kivas. Even though the temperature was a bit lower and the precipitation was a little higher during the height of the Tusayan colony 800 years ago, the region was still predominantly dry and the soil was not very good for agriculture. It was difficult for people to exist, particularly in permanent settlements, due to the fact that it was simple to eat up neighboring resources in a short amount of time. Residents of the area cultivated their fields with maize, beans, and squash in a nearby wash. They also relied on wildlife and flora such as yucca, pinon nuts, berries, and other kinds of cactus to supplement their food supply. The south rim of the Grand Canyon does not have any reliable sources of water, which is a problem that continues to afflict Grand Canyon National Park even now. This was a significant barrier to the establishment of a larger and a more permanent community. After barely 25 or 30 years of calling the Grand Canyon home after initially settling there, the small tribe of ancient Puebloans left their settlement there. Archaeologists from Gila Pueblo, located near Globe, Arizona, were granted permission by the NPS to excavate the site in 1930. The group decided that at least half of any items that were discovered would be kept to the Grand Canyon, and they made a commitment to construct a museum nearby to provide interpretation of the site. The Tusayan Museum was formerly known as the Wayside Museum of Archaeology. It's presently a modest building with 2 rooms that is square in shape and constructed primarily of stone with some wooden beams. It appears as though it could have been built at the same time as the Puebloan settlement and fit in without any problems. Despite the fact that money from outside sources was used to establish the museum, interpretative staff from the NPS was responsible for designing the exhibits and staffing the site. It first opened its doors in 1932, the same year that the nearby Desert View Watchtower, a fake Native American building, was put up for business by the Fred Harvey Company. Because of the majority of early park administrators viewed Grand Canyon National Park primarily as a natural park rather than a historical or archaeological park, spending money on displays or restorations was rarely high on the NPS list of priorities over the years. Even when the number of visitors to the museum greatly exceeded their projections, the administrators still had a tendency to view the location as having the most secondary relevance in their plans for the interpretation and management of the site. This museum was meant to depict human history in the National Park Service, whereas the Yavapai Observation Station told a narrative of the geology of the canyon. Early exhibitions concentrated mostly on the ways of life and traditions of long-extinct Native American tribes, painting them in a more romanticized light as a mysterious and extinct people group. Today, there are exhibits that cover both the ancient history and the modern history of 5 significant tribes that are affiliated with the Grand Canyon. These tribes are the Havasupai, Hopi, Hualapai, Navajo, and Paiute. The exhibits focus on these tribes' long-lasting and strong cultural connections to the region. A collection of sculptures made from split twigs dating back between 2,000 and 4,000 years is one of the most important displays in the museum. Figurines discovered in caverns across the Grand Canyon point to the long history of human habitation at the Grand Canyon and the importance of the area to Native American culture, despite the fact that they were not discovered at Tusayan Ruin itself. The site offers visitors the opportunity to take self-guided walks through the remains, participate in daily interpretive ranger talks, or simply wander around the tiny museum. Anyone who comes up an archaeological site in the Grand Canyon should know that they should not disturb it and should immediately report it to the National Park Service. This will allow archaeologists to properly record, investigate, and conserve the site for the benefit of future generations. That's all for today's video, and we'll be right back with more such videos, so don't forget to give this one a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.